We might not realize that there is quite a number of models of early childhood programs with good references when it comes to implementing theories and principles of how children learn into curriculums. These models can be seen as exemplary approaches to early childhood education and can serve as a guide for best practices. Let us first see the Montessori model. Montessori method key goals highlight the facilitation of the development of each child's unique personality. Next, the emotional and social adjustment of the child to promote and support development into a psychologically strong and happy person. And third was to create possibilities for the child to develop his full intellectual capacity. Montessori method encourages children to learn about the world around them through exploration, and they are allowed the freedom to move around, to manipulate and touch. This is because Montessori affirms that children learn best within a child-sized environment that stimulates and invites learning. She also developed a number of educational toys and activities to support this process. The Montessori curriculum is generally divided into 3 areas of learning. Curriculum regarding practical life skills or motor education is designed to teach children life skills. Following this, all Montessori settings introduce children to practical life exercises that are appropriate to their age group. For sensory education, the range of manipulative or didactic materials that are used include numerous sets of materials that promote seriation, classification, and conservation activities through a variety of media. The Montessori program provides children with ample opportunities to speak and practice new words. They learn to listen and hear language in all of its string forms. It was for supporting language and intellectual education. If you want to implement the Montessori method, you should respect the child. Appreciate that the child has an observant mind. You should also prepare the sensitive period for children, for them to learn specific skills more easily. Besides that, prepare the best environment and place where children are allowed to do things for themselves. How about the role of the teacher in the Montessori classroom? A Montessori teacher often takes a step back when children are working, giving them space and allowing them to learn from their own discoveries and draw their own conclusions. Montessori teachers are trained to focus on the child as a person rather than place priority on the daily lesson plans. The teacher should act as the keeper and custodian of the environment constantly, attend to the upkeeping of the environment, and must entice children at the beginning of the school year, even before children's concentration has shown itself. Finally, when the time comes, the children begin to take an interest in an activity. At this stage, teachers should not interrupt children as the activity builds on their interest. Let's move to Regio Emilia approach. Regio Emilia is an early education program that is commanding international attention as a model environment for young children. Teachers using Regio Emilia approach work diligently to develop new ways of teaching which would support the new democratic society. This model holds fast to the idea that education stems from an environment that invites children to explore and learn through actual experience, inquiry, and dialogue in the classroom and in the community. It is because the schools of Regio Emilia promotes a healthy respect for the investigative natural ability of the child and his or her natural abilities to think, plan, criticize, collaborate, and learn. The child must be surrounded by an environment that is both beautiful and functions as a primary resource which offers infinite opportunities for learning. The readiness of the child can be nurtured by seizing moments of interest and inquiry, and taking the opportunity to elaborate and interpret the thoughts that are already within the child's mind. There are 8 fundamentals of Regio Emilia approach, which are the child as protagonist, the child as a collaborator, the child as a communicator, the environment as the third teacher, the teacher as partner, nurturer and guide, the teacher as researcher, the documentation as communication, and the parents as partners. What about the high scope program? The high scope program emphasis is on child-adult interaction. This model employed teaching techniques to help children plan, initiate and implement their ideas, and then review and reflect on their own learning activities. It incorporates a plan-do-review process that strengthens the children's initiative and self-reliance. It creates a situation whereby teachers and students are active partners in shaping the complete educational experience. As for the content of learning, the high-scope curriculum gives special emphasis and focus on the initiatives of the children, and in them expressing their choices and engaging in complex play. Rudolf Steiner, a philosopher and thinker, proposed the Waldorf curriculum. The core of this model is the basic belief that young children learn primarily through observation, imitation, and experiences, especially during the first phase of early childhood development. Focusing on 3 developmental phases of childhood, Waldorf emphasizes on learning through play and devoting significant time to creative play. The first principle is the teacher demonstrates practical, domestic, and artistic activities for the children to imitate. Secondly, imagination is encouraged through storytelling and dramatic play. Thirdly, the toys used in the classroom are mainly made from natural materials. Fourth, children often bring items from nature for play and classroom exploration. The classroom environment nourishes the children's senses. There are strong rhythmic elements that are based on the cycles of life and nature, and the children's sense of reverence and wonder is enhanced. The 4 approaches currently being used worldwide are Montessori, Waldorf, Regio Emilia, and high scope. Every curriculum has its own specialty, but by the end, it will be back to how the school implements it and how big the impact is on the child's development. Try to compare the 4 programs that we have discussed. Can you list the strengths and weaknesses of each program? We hope you find this video helpful, and we look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Have a good day, everyone.